It's day 5 of the turbo install. Works got back to me last night and suggested I have a look at two things. One, that the engine mounts may have moved the engine over to the right of the car by a bit. That's entirely possible because I had to raise the car. I raised the engine to remove the overpipe and to install the down pipe, the up pipe. The other thing is that perhaps there is something wrong with the factory standard header. There are flex joints within the header that may have caused the flange that goes to the up pipe to have moved a little bit. So I will first of all have a look at the engine mounts to see whether the engine is mounted centrally in the car, and then if that's not the case, then I'll remove the header. I'll test fit the aftermarket header that I've got and see whether the problem persists. Okay, we've got the header out again. The outlet flange, I've tried to pull that out a bit. Apparently there's a flex joint after the cap that joins onto the header. So I've yanked that out a bit. Had to be careful so as not to damage the studs. We'll see how that goes. I'll reinstall it. If it doesn't help, then I'll try the catless headers and see if they make a difference. Okay, I just spoke with Works again. They did say that some of the stock headers are not made to a very tight tolerance, and it may be that I have one of those. What they recommend is that I put on the open flash headers and see whether that resolves the problem. If it does, then I can drive around with the open flash headers and then consider what I'll do later on to put the stock headers back on. So that means putting the open flash headers on now. While I was waiting for a response from Works, I did a diff oil change, a transmission oil change and an engine oil change. So we're all good for the oils. There's still a coolant change to do, as well as the radiator for the turbo needs to be filled up with coolant as well. Okay, let's get on with the headers. Okay, I've put on the open flash headers, and the gap between the wastegate actuator and the strut tower is exactly the same. So both the open flash header and the stock headers are exactly the same as far as the gap that they have. Time to call Works again. Okay, we haven't had much luck with the placement. The open flash headers are on the car, but the gap is the same. We've now come to the point where I will be sending the car to Works to find out what's wrong. It's less than satisfactory, but it's about the best we can do at the moment. So we'll do that. So I have to reassemble the car as best I can, so that hopefully AAA will take it to Sonoma. Okay, both Works and I are at a loss, so we've now decided that we'll get the car towed to the Works garage in Sonoma, at Sonoma Raceway, and see what the trouble is. Neither the open flash header or the stock header will allow the turbo to be mounted with enough clearance to the strut tower, so we just have to see what's happening. Yeah, there's nothing much more I can say until I hear back from Works if and when I can get the car towed up there. Cheers.